because of course filming, you guys weren't able to continue, and just sports in general were canceled across the board due to COVID, and you guys didn't pick it back up till September of that year. So how was that time for you?
For me, I went back home to Wyoming so I could spend time with my grandparents because everyone at Navarro had left and gone home. So I was like, well, I'm not going to stay here by myself.
Yeah.
So I went back home, and for me, like, I really got to, take a second because I didn't before. I was just go, go, go with everything that I was so overwhelmed, and, just took time to myself and took time to actually process the show, because as soon as it came out, it was like interview the next morning. So I didn't really get to fully process what had happened. And like, obviously I shared my life story on there, and it was like a little intimidating at first because I was like, I don't know what people are going to take from it. And like, didn't really keep up with, what was happening and what people were saying about it. It was, just go, go, go. So really just took time to like process the show, spend quality time with my grandparents, and like just take a step away from it for a second. So for me, it was actually good, and I really needed it because I was like mentally struggling. But I'm glad that I was able to go home and be with my grandparents during the quarantine.
What was the protocol like when you guys went back to it? Because I'm assuming things had changed, obviously, a little bit in the ways you practiced and competed.
Right.
Yes. So I didn't go back after COVID. So I'm not 100% sure like what the team went through. I know that COVID testing was a part of it, but I'm not sure what the extent was, like how often or what needed to be done in order to film. But I know that, everyone was very cautious of the situation and took it very seriously so that, we could be able to produce a show and put it out there for everybody, but also to keep everyone safe and, just get back to doing what we normally do. So, yeah.
Yeah, definitely. So I also love that from what we've seen, we get it looks like a lot more in-depth look into who you guys are competing against, right? You're seeing Trinity Valley, you're seeing their coach
Love
and their
this aspect.
and their and their cheerleaders and what's going on there. What's it like really kind of is that rivalry as, I guess, serious is the word, I guess?
Deep as it's portrayed?
As it feels watching.
So I would say, I am close with some people that go to TVCC or have previously cheered there. So it seems like a huge rivalry, which in a sense it is, but it mostly comes down to when you step foot on that mat to compete.
Right.
So you can be, friends, laughing, visiting each other, going and getting lunch or whatever. But then as soon as you step on that mat in Daytona, you're like, hang on, like, I got a job to do, like, da-da-da-da. Do your thing, and then, go back to it afterwards. But, we are, very close competitors, and that it goes both ways, you know what I'm saying? Like, we are like hard on each other, and have the rivalry, but also we are close at the same time. So it gets a little complicated, but, they are amazing athletes and their program and everything. So, credit to them for what they do, and it's there, but we love them.
We love a good cheerleading rivalry.
Fight for our team at the same time.
Yeah. Well, is it like, obviously you're not going to be mean to the other people on the team. The rivalry's there, but the same day as competition, you're not grabbing lunch with those people.
Yes, exactly. It's like you've got a job to do and you're like, okay, but it is what it is.
Yeah. Right. It kind of like, it feeds into, which, is the extent of my, really cheer Netflix. This show taught me a lot about competitive cheerleading, and I feel like the extent of my knowledge was watching like the teen movies where there was always a classic cheer rivalry.
I did cheerleading, not to that extent, but yeah, you have rivals.
No, I know,
serious.
which is it's
it's serious.
Yeah, and the show, you just learn so much more when you're going. It's competition day, it's Daytona day. What are you doing to get yourself ready? How are you pumping yourself up? Because that's such a major part of this. Like, I wonder, like, how has your just this is actually a separate question, so I'll ask that first, and then this. How did you like athletically prepare for those days?
Well, you honestly just prayed. At that point. It was, me having full mental breakdowns while I have makeup on, trying to reapply it so I don't look psycho.
Yeah.
Everyone's rushing around trying to get their hair done. You have like the nerves, like, you work that whole entire year for that one moment. So you're like, this is it. Like, this is literally it. Like, this is what this whole year has been about, is this, routine that we're about to do. So it's like a lot of like pressure, stress, like, everyone's freaking out. You're trying to keep yourself cool, but you see someone else freaking out, so you're freaking out. And so it's just like all over the place, like everyone's emotions. There's some people that, will just sit there and just be calm and collected. There's other ones that have to pace. There's some people that are just like, let's go. And then there's me, and I'm just like, okay, we got this. Like, it's going to be all right. Like, we can do it. We trust each other. We can do it. So it's all over the place, but it's also just really exciting because, it's what you've been looking forward to, and it's like actually there. So it's
the feeling exciting. After must be the greatest relief in the world.
Yes. If you hit.
Yeah.
Yes. So, I mean, I wasn't necessarily a mistake on the first season, but my stunt was very shaky, and it seemed a lot more shaky when I was in the air versus when you watch it on video. So watching that back, I was like, very thrown off by it. And I was like, I wonder what it's going to look like, all that. So, there's just like so many emotions, but then like once you step off the floor and like you like technically hit a 0, it's just like craziness. Like you just can't even like process it. And you're like, did we actually hit, or did like what just happened? Like you like blank out, like you literally go into autopilot and you just like are done, and you're like, can someone fill me in? Like, I'm confused. And
you didn't watch this season yet, so you will be watching it with everybody else.
Yep, I'll be watching it with the rest of the world.
What this was the second part of what I wanted to ask you before. Like, it's such a grueling sport, and you put your body through so much, and we saw that in the first season with injuries and just like being in the gym and working out and all of these things. How has that transition been for you, like now not cheering anymore, and kind of like, I feel like that's such a interesting part for college athletes where it is like very consuming to kind of have to transition out of it.
Yes. So when I stopped cheering, my body loved me. I got to, not be sore every single day or, have bruises from being caught or whatever. So, my body was like, oh yeah, now we're talking. And then quarantine happened. So I'm sitting on the couch for like months at a time. Like, okay, well, I'm used to being like, go, 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 like practicing 4 hours a day, every single day. So I was like, I feel like I need to be doing something. But, taking that break was very good for me. And I do miss cheer though. I do miss cheering.
I was going to ask, now that time has passed.
Being a part of all of that, it's kind of hard, but, I loved every moment of it while I was still a cheerleader.
Yeah.